Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to welcome every one of you. Welcome to the party. This is the Beatles Show with TMO. Welcome to the show. I am Tokpe Mark Odige, and I'm live on Facebook and on Instagram. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm waving right back at every one of you that have joined the show, and I'm happy to be with you all. So, today's show is going to be really interesting, and I want you to share this link with your friends right now. The topic for today, as you all can see, is should you buy a house without the knowledge of your spouse? Should you buy a house without the knowledge of your spouse? So we're going to be having a very interesting conversation. Every time, and I mean every time I come to you on the Beatles Show every Thursday at 4 p.m., I let you understand that I have something written on my shirt, an affirmation, a word, a reminder of what is important. And today on my shirt, I have abundance mindset. Abundance mindset. And the goal is to help you understand that you have to think abundantly. You have to think that there is an abundance of everything. It is there. You don't struggle to breathe in air. You don't say, let me take in enough air right now because I might not have enough air to breathe in the next 1 hour. No. Is that how you breathe in? Is that how you breathe? Do you breathe with the knowledge or with the feeling like if I breathe right now, I won't have air again? Is that the kind of thoughts you have? Really, is that the kind of thoughts you have? Because for me, it is very important that when we are thinking in terms of money, you are thinking abundance. You're thinking abundance. You're thinking there is enough money in the world. There is enough air in the world. I'm not worried that my breathing would stop your breathing. I'm not worried that what I'm doing right now, the fact that I'm talking, will make this air that I'm breathing in unavailable for every other person watching me right now. There is enough air for us to breathe. I want you to have that same thought when it comes to money. I want you to have that same thought when it comes to marriage. Because some people have a scarcity mindset when it comes to marriage. I know a lot of women. How many women are watching me right now? Are you a woman watching me? I know a lot of women that believe that there aren't enough men to marry. And so they feel I might be a second wife. It might be a good option for me to be a second wife. It's an issue of mindset. The abundant mindset person understands that there is enough to go around. There are enough men for me to marry. There are enough children for me to have. There are enough of wealth for me to have. There is an abundance. I have enough. If I want more, I would have it. If I need more, I would get it. An abundance mindset is a mind that is not limited by what they see, but they understand that what they see is just a fraction of what they can capture. And you all need to have an abundance mindset. You all need to realize that what you see is not the limit of the possibilities. What you have is not the limit of the possibilities. And so on the Beatles Show, every week we talk about money, we talk about wealth, we talk about investment. And I know many of you watch this program after and think, I don't have enough money to invest in real estate. I cannot buy land, I cannot buy a house. Well, that is your mindset speaking. Oh, I can't afford it, 35 million naira. Where would I get 35 million naira from? Truth of matter is, if you think you don't have enough, you will not have enough. If you think you can have enough, you will have enough. That is why my top today carries an abundance mindset. An abundance mindset is that I have enough. When I need it, I would get it. The universe would work for me. God will bring it into my reach. So, if you desire a house, or you desire a house, if you desire a house, you desire a car, you desire a better job, you desire marriage, you desire money. Guys, you're not struggling to breathe. You wouldn't struggle. You shouldn't struggle. Don't struggle that there isn't enough, because there is enough. Because there is enough. The fact that I have nails does not mean you cannot have your nails. The fact that I have a wig on does not mean there is not enough wig for you. The abundance mindset means that there is enough everywhere for all of us. So, moving on from the top for today, which is an abundance mindset, and I want you all to note it in your mind. Actually, if you're watching me right now, I want you to type it out, abundance mindset. I have an abundance mindset. Say it to yourself, I have an abundance mindset. I have an abundant mindset. I believe there is abundance everywhere. And you can say it out. Repeat it after me. Believe it in your heart. Because if you don't believe there is abundance, you will live in scarcity. You will live thinking it is not enough. And if you keep on living thinking it's not enough, you will not have enough. So say it this moment. Type it right now. I have an abundance mindset. I have abundance in everything. I see abundance. I feel abundant. You know, I see opportunities. I witness opportunities. And that is key for your growth. As always, this is the Beatles Show with TMO. And on this show, we talk about money, investment, real estate. We talk about transgenerational wealth and how you can walk the path to legitimate wealth all your life. So, on today's particular show, we're talking about should you buy a house without your spouse? Now, I want your comments on this. I want you to tell me, do you agree with this? Do you think it is a right thing to do? Do you think it is a wrong thing to do? Do you think it is right to keep secrets from your spouse? Because this is this is a controversial topic. People are on different sides of the fence when it comes to this. Some people will tell you that they don't agree. Some people will tell you that on no account should you keep any secret from your spouse. And other people will tell you, you can keep secrets from your spouse. They will tell you that that's the way our mothers make their marriage work. So what's your opinion before I give my opinion? Do you believe that you should buy a house without your spouse knowing about it, male or female? Would you remain happily married to someone you find out made investment without your knowledge and bought a house or bought a land or bought properties without informing you, the partner, about it? How would you feel? What do you think? What do you think? Thank you all for joining in. I want to see your comments. What do you think? Let me start by saying this. When it comes to buying properties or when it comes to money issues, there are three things that causes challenges in marriages. The chief of which is money. Money is key to one of the issues in marriages. Many marriages break up because of inability to cement their money issues. So my personal opinion is that everything in marriage, the two of you have become one, and so anything that involves both of you should merge together. So you as a man or you as a woman, husband and wife must find a way to marry themselves financially, because you can't just think of marriage as something that happens to you as a way to have children. So you're married to this person, you can have sex with this person, but you cannot share your money with this person, or you cannot divulge your financial secrets to this person. I feel that it shows there's a gap in your marriage in the first place. So yeah, my opinion is that the two of you must work together. The two of you cannot say you're married when you're hiding secrets from your spouse. So that is on one side. However, people have lectured me that, just how many years have you been married? You're barely 10 years in marriage. What do you know? What do you know? If you know what our mothers used to do to survive marriages of 40, 50 years. So how many of you have been married for 40, 50 years? Put it right there. Okay, if you're married for over 10 years, put it in the comments. So let me listen to you. Let me be your student. But if you're married less than 10 years, then you are my student and you should listen to me. So the thing is, when it comes to marriage, is that I believe that the two of you have become one, and everything you do together should be done as one. I don't agree with separation financially. I don't agree that you should have a secret account that your spouse doesn't know about. However, I have heard from people who've been beaten, have heard from lawyers who've had to settle divorce cases, and they see the bitter side of marriage. So maybe I know I'm one of the lucky ones that have had good ones, and so they will tell you that the way our mothers did it, the way our fathers did it, was to avoid know who your partner is. So when I listened to many people's opinion, I came up with my own list of what is important, and I'm going to run through it now. So let me let you understand this. On the Beatles Show, this is an educative platform, and the goal of this show is to help you to make informed financial decisions so you can build transgenerational wealth. And real estate investments, money is key to families remaining united. Like I always say on every platform, money makes marriage sweeter. So if you're having challenges in your marriage, maybe a little cash flow would improve circumstances for you. But now, in addressing, should you buy a house without your spouse? Should you buy a house without your spouse? In addressing this topic specifically, I'll tell you this. It is key for you to know who you're married to. Should you buy a house without your husband, or should you buy a house without your wife? It starts by you understanding who your spouse is. Is your spouse a spendthrift? So 2 weeks ago, we discussed help, my husband is a spender, or help, my wife is a spender. If you're married to a spender, you need to understand what the spending pattern of your spouse is. You need to understand that you might need to be wise in how you deal with the person. There are many categories of people financially, but key 3 categories I explained in the last 3 weeks is that 1, you have the first category of people who are very, very prudent. They are seemingly stingy. They don't spend money on anything that is not budgeted for. Number 2 are people who are a bit reckless in their expenditure. They are spontaneous in terms of purchase. They would, if they see something, they buy it. And 3 are the people who are just selfish and wicked. Now, if you are in the category A, if you are someone who likes saving money, who is prudent, who budgets and plans, and you are married to category B, someone who is an impulsive buyer, you would have issues with investment, because in such situations, your husband or your wife, your partner will tell you that they spent money that you had probably planned for something else. And if you are the saver, there will be friction in such relationships. So it starts by you understanding your partner. Who is my partner? Is my partner someone I can close my eyes and know that my money is safe with him? How many of you are in that category? And I want you to answer me. How many of you actually borrow your partner's money and then you never get it back? To the core of the issue is that you need to know your spouse, know who your partner is. When you know who your partner is, it helps you to know how to relate with your partner. If you have a partner who's a spender, if you have a partner who is not disciplined financially, such partners will be a risk to you and your long-term journey towards building transgenerational wealth. So you need to understand that if you understand your partner, you'll be able to relate with them. It's not that they are bad people. It's just that they don't have the nature of saving or the nature of investing. I know people that they have never, ever in their life bought shares before. I met someone, he's 50 years old, and he has never bought shares in his life before. He has never bought any real estate, and he has made good money in his life. And he just keeps waiting that very soon, I cannot invest 1 million naira. I want to invest like 10 million naira. I want to invest like 50 million naira. So this person has made small money, but is waiting for when the money is big, that, when I have big money, I would invest it. And that's a category, that's a type of person. That's a type of person. When you are married to such a person, you need to make the person understand that, introduce the person to me. Let me coach the person on how to invest wisely. But even aside from that, you need to educate the person. The more the person is educated on how and why, the person can make the right decisions. But the first goal is to identify. If you're married to someone who spends, or you're married to someone who spends, identify the person, and 2, plan the line of action. How do you deal with your spouse if your spouse spends money arbitrarily? How do you deal with your spouse if your spouse is secretive? So it is important for you to first identify who your spouse is. So I have spoken to people who's been married, and I hear stories like, when I was growing up, my family don't believe that your spouse should know how much you earn. I've heard stories like you were brought up in a family that believes that it's okay for you to have secret accounts, and it's normal. So now, if you're married to such a person, the person is not a wicked person. The person can love you, die. But you will never, if the person says, I'm broke, believe me, the person is not broke. The person has one secret account, the secret account, another secret account. But it's not that they are wicked. It's just that they've been brought up in an environment that is secretive. Maybe they've had their parents have also had their own fair share of crisis that has taught them a bitter lesson. And so they are coming into the marriage having learned to be guarded and learned to be careful. And if you are in a relationship with such a person, if you don't identify, you will mislabel them. And I don't want this show to let you go into your marriage or go into your relationship and say, this is my boyfriend, or this is my husband, or this is my wife. Oh no, you are a spendthrift. Oh no, you are a careless spender. I don't want you to label people wrongly. I want you to identify them. And then second step is, after identifying who your partner is and the spending pattern of your wife, of your partner, is for you to now walk back to understand why they are who they are. So Rakumi says some wives are very secretive, and the husband too. Yes, why are they secretive? Find out. Maybe when they were growing up, and I've had stories like that. I know someone who found out when her father died that she had 3 siblings, yeah, from 2 other women. And apparently the man had his official wife that has 4 kids for him, and then ended up having 2 other women have kids for him. One had 2 kids. He built a house for another woman and had 2 kids with that woman. And this family never heard about it. So a child from that kind of home is a traumatized child. That child is going to be entering marriage suspicious. So if you are married to a careful person, you need to understand where that person is coming from. If not, you will be entering your relationship carrying baggages, and both of you would bring in baggages into the marriage that can influence the financial future of that marriage. Now, the beauty of relationships and marriages is that the 2 of you have become one, and your unity will ensure that your children will not suffer what you've gone through. So if you are married and your relationship isn't 100% cemented, there will be issues and you'll be undermining the possibilities of your marriage. So it is very key that you deal with the foundations of this problem. You deal with what is going on ground. If you are not able to deal with them, you will end up trying to fix. Fixing is like you're trying to fix let me put it this way. You taste orange, and let me use an analogy. Imagine you drink orange, and the orange you drank tastes bitter, and you are now trying to deal with the fruits. You now start plucking all the fruits from the tree and say, let me pluck all the fruits from this tree. If I finish plucking all the fruits from the tree, maybe the next fruits that will come next year will not be bitter. They will be bitter because the fruits are determined by the tree. Your tree determines the fruit. So everybody coming into the marriage, we're coming in with our own tree. And you're supposed to now unite your tree together and have one beautiful fruit. So if you want to have a successful financial life in marriage, both of you need to deal with the root causes of your money problems and your money beliefs. So if you're married to someone that has a scarcity mindset, the person already believes in himself, like there isn't enough money. So if I have this 100,000 naira, I don't want to touch it, because if I touch this 100,000 naira, where will the next 100,000 naira come from? You don't fight such a person. You don't say, oh, no, give me the money. That won't work. Did your spouse buy a house without informing you? Wrong. But don't judge your spouse. Understand, why did my spouse buy this house without informing me? Why would my spouse do that to me? Doesn't my spouse realize I'll be hurt? Then if you ask that question, not judgmentally, but to inform yourself, you would uncover many things. You would realize that maybe your spouse has labeled you as a spender and a spendthrift. So your spouse in that case is now looking at you and saying, if I tell you about the situation, if I tell you what is going on, You won't let me invest the money in this house. You will make me spend it. But, like I said, the first situation is to identify who your partner is. Two, have that conversation. Have those tough conversations. Confront your partner that, madam or babe or bros or my darling or my love or sweetie, whatever name you call your partner. Confront your partner and let them understand that I'm going to hide money from you. Because every time I tell you about my money, you spend it. So you see this question I posed. This question is a Greek gift. It's a question to help you deal with bigger problems. It's a question to help you deal with mightier issues. If you are thinking, TMO just asked me a question. I don't agree with the question. This question TMO is asking me, it does not make sense. I want you to understand that that question is to help you to dig deep and understand what the real problems are. If your spouse buys a house without you, it's a red flag for you to understand that there's a problem under the scene. And when you get what the problem under the scene is, you are able to solve those problems. So sometimes what we are dealing with is mindset issues. Sometimes what we're dealing with is historical hurt. You know people who've seen their father betrayed by their mothers. I've heard someone who shared a story of how a woman took her husband's money, built a house, packed and ran out of the house and ran out of his matrimonial home to go and meet her ex abroad. So when we hear stories like that, people have carried this emotional burden. And then when they go into another relationship, they are unable to effectively merge in the new relationship. So it is important to understand where the person is coming from. Now, when it comes to you knowing you're married to a wicked person, what do you now do? So let's say you're married and you already have, let's say, 3 kids. You have 3 kids with someone who is a spender, a spendthrift, someone who is wasteful. I don't know what other adjective I can use to describe a person that does not know how to spend money. If you're married to such a person, my advice would be that you should either, honest opinion, so this is going to be controversial, you won't like it, but if you're married to a spender, you're married to a spendthrift, you're married to someone you cannot divulge your financial information with because you're worried this person would recklessly spend your money, then I think that it's a marriage that is threatened already. And personally, I would say bring in a third party, go for couples therapy, find someone that can talk to your spouse, find a neutral person who can help you mend the marriage. Now, if that doesn't work, I have a friend, she says that she counsels women. I don't agree with that counseling, but I'll give you the person's advice. The person says that it's okay for you to plan for your future without your partner. I feel there's no future without my partner. There's no future without my husband. There's no future without there is no, I can't think of that future. It's not an option. But for those that see it as an option, here is how you can do it. Male or female, the advice is that every investment you're doing, if you're doing an investment for the future, do your investment in your children's name. Do your investment in your children's name. Do your investment specifically in your children's name, and you will now appoint yourself as the notary person. It means I am putting this money in this investment vault for Lagbaja, Tamedu, and this person. However, they can't make any decision on this money until they are 30. They can't make any decision on this money until they are 20. And sometimes we think we need to have a lot of money to do this. You don't. Even if it is 100,000 naira, even if it is 10,000 naira, you can put that money in your children's name and put a caveat that they can't touch this account until a specific age and they prove accountable. So if you are married to someone you believe isn't able to manage his financial or her financial future adequately, put your money and put your investment and family investments in your children's name. That's number 1. Number 2, if you feel the need, if you feel you can afford to buy a house, if you feel that I have money, I want to buy a house, I can afford it, it's money is not my problem, I'm good. But I'm worried that my spouse might not agree. So let me surprise my spouse, or let me just put this money into this house. And you go ahead and buy it without your spouse knowing. My advice is, if you want to keep that marriage going, buy it in your spouse's name. Yes, like I said, some of these my advices will be controversial. Buy it in your spouse's name. If you want to buy land or buy a house without your spouse knowing about it, but you love your spouse and you want to keep your marriage, then buy that investment in your spouse's name, or buy the investment in your children's name, or you make that investment specifically in a way that is in a joint name, so it is not a threat to them. Because the only reason I will be threatened if I find out that my partner or my husband has bought a property without me knowing about it, is if I find out that he bought the property in his name and I am not carried along in any way. I'll feel like, are you planning a life without me? But if I find out my husband bought a property, and so it is not something for you to fight over or quarrel over. Yes, it can be disappointing, but for me, what that should signal to you is, how do I solve this problem? And I explained, if you find yourself in a situation where your spouse is a wicked, reckless spender, your spouse is the kind of person that if he sees you with money, he's going to be finding ways to help you spend the money. If that's your case, if you're married to such a person, your next line of action shouldn't be, oh, I'm going to go and buy a house and I won't let the person know. I'm going to keep my money. I'll have a secret account. For me, your goal should be, I want to understand why my partner is always spending. So when I understand my partner, I'll be able to help him or her to get out of this quagmire. And the next line of action is, okay, if I've tried everything possible, my partner just wants to be spending recklessly, what's the next thing I can do? I would say that you should buy your property in your children's name or in your partner's name. So those are the first two options I give. First option, try and understand your partner. Try and understand yourself and try and deal with the root issues. Number two, buy the property in either your name or either in your children's name or in your partner's name. So if I find out, God forbid, good or bad, it could be a good thing. If I find out in the next 3-4 years that my husband bought a house or bought a land without telling me, I will feel very hurt. I will feel very betrayed. I would feel extremely disappointed. However, if he brings out the documentation on the book, on the paper, like maybe he buys a Jasper or buys a Sadios or he buys Beryl 2. All these estates I just called are estates owned by GTEX Homes. So if my husband buys an estate from GTEX Homes, buys a plot of land from GTEX Homes, and I find out about it in 2 years' time, but I see the documentation and the documentation carries my name, do you think I'll be angry with him? I won't be angry with him. Would I? Would you be angry with such a person when you find out that the person bought the property in your name? You won't be. So what makes you angry is the distrust that you see. But when you find out that the surprise was for you and for your own good, it diffuses the tension. So if you are married to someone you love, but you don't like the person's spending habits, you can decide to buy a house without telling the person or invest without telling the person. Do the investment in your partner's name. Now, Nigerians, and I think relationships have suffered and trust has become so stretched that some people would never invest in their partner's name because they are scared of what the future holds. What if he divorces me? What if things don't go as planned? What if life happens? What if his family come and they say it's his property? What if he dies and they say, oh, this property is not you that bought it, it's your partner, is his own property or is her property? What would you now do? My advice is the next line of action is to buy the property in your children's name. So, case in example, let's use this example. If I find out that my husband buys Sapphire or Beryl 2, which is another estate that GTEX Homes has, and buys it in my children's name. So let's say he buys Beryl, I have twins, so he buys 2 plots of land for my twins, and then he buys one more plot of land for the third one and did not tell me about it, maybe I find out in 10 years' time, I won't feel bad. If the name on the documentation, it's my children's names, you know, so if he includes my children's names, I won't feel bad. I will still not be happy that he didn't tell me about it because it speaks to an underlying problem. But if he does the grand gesture of putting it in my name or in my children's name, I can forgive. But for those of you, so let me give you an unsolicited for advice for those of you that have done this. If you have already made investments in your own name without telling your partner, Gada, let me give you this advice. You did not ask me, but I'm giving you. Quickly retrace your steps now and put it in your children's name, because that way you can still preserve the marriage. I think that is a dent on your marriage if you have a property that you do not tell your partner about and it is in your name, or worse off, in another person's name, in your brother's name, or in your sister's name, or in your parents' name. If you're married, your next of kin should be your spouse, in the very minimum, your children. So if you're married and your next of kin is your sibling or your parents, it shows there's something wrong in that marriage. So let's deal with the root causes beneath the scene, you know. But for me, my advice would be that do your investments in your spouse's name or your name or your children's name, your spouse's name or your children's name, and also even if it is your opening account and saving money, because some of you might say, oh, I'm not buying a land, I have a separate account, I have a secret account. This account is my inside account. What I'll say is open the account for your children and save in your children's name. 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 Let that be your line of action. Let that be what you will be doing. And for some people, your story is that I don't even have money to save. At TMO, I hear you. I hear you, and I wish I can even buy a land and surprise my partner. I wish I can buy a land in the name of my children. Well, I have an opportunity for you to buy land and buy a house and live the life of your dreams by expanding your income. You see, the truth about it is that real estate is one of the places where, with little experience, you can make a whole lot of money simply by selling the advantages with enthusiasm. So, with real estate, you don't need to buy the land. You simply you help somebody that has a land to sell their land, and you make money. So I'll tell you to enroll on the GCP program. That's the GTEX consultancy program, where you can earn six figures from, like, you can earn extra 100,000, extra 300,000, extra 1 million. You can earn extra side income of as much as 1 million naira. The last person who has the highest payout earned 750,000 naira as a consultant, and you can be the next person. So guys, go to the link in my bio and sign up as a GTEX consultant, because when you do this, when you sign up as a GTEX consultant, you are able to sell land. Just share the flyers, introduce the estate to people, and when you do that, when they buy into the estate, you get 10% commission. And every commission you get, you can now say, this commission, I won't touch it, I'll be saving it. So for those of you saying, I don't have money, TMO, I don't even have money to save, I don't even have any extra income to say I want to invest, expand your earning capacity by joining GTEX consultancy program. When you join GTEX consultancy program, by selling our real estate, you get 10%. So imagine you sell a land of 25 million naira or 30 million naira. Or more, immediately you get 33 million, immediately. And here they pay. They really do pay you immediately. So if you by yourself sell a land worth 5 million, you earn 500,000 naira immediately. So look at your finances. Would you benefit from having more money? Would you benefit from having extra income? Then please go ahead. Go ahead right away. Register for the GTEX consultancy program and benefit from the opportunities therein. So before I go, I have an offer for you. Burial 2. How much is Burial 2 right now, guys? 10 million naira. So burial 2 is going for 10 million naira. Do I have any discounts? So guys, here is the thing. Burial 2 is an estate. Burial 1 was sold out. Burial 1 launched this year and is sold out this year. When Burial 2 launched, I think it was 8 million naira, right? Burial 2 launched at 8 million naira. Oh my goodness, Burial 2 launched at 7.5 million naira, and Burial 2 moved for 7.5 million naira into 10 million now. But I would always give you a discount. Usually I give 10%, but really I don't have the right to give you 10%, so I can't. I'm really sorry. But I'll give you a discount of 5% if you're buying Burial 2 and you call my number today, right now. Call my number, like, right now. Right now. I'll put it in the comments. And if you call the number today, this offer is available. You get 5% off the 10 million naira. This estate started at 7.5 million naira and now it's already 9 million. The truth about life is you don't wait to make your decisions of investment. You make the investment decision and then you wait. You don't wait to buy land, you buy land and you wait. So if you are interested in grabbing my offer for this week, the Beatles Show offer for this week is giving you 5% off burial estate. Burial estate is currently going for 10 million naira. 5% off for me, you're paying 9.5 million naira. You need to grab this offer right now. Right now. And if you want to buy it in your spouse's name, go ahead. If you want to buy it in your children's name, go ahead and have fun. But most importantly, invest. You don't wait to invest. Invest whenever you can. And sometimes, let me even just give you this one before I go. Sometimes you say, I don't have money, but it's because you don't have a burden. So imagine if you deposit 2 million naira or 2.5. I think the deposit is 2.5 million naira. Imagine if you deposit 2.5 million naira right now with the expectation that you will conclude your payment within the next 3 to 6 months. You now know that all I'm looking for is 7 million. I need 7 million. I need 7 million. I need 7 million. Because you have put a figure to what you're looking for, you will get it. That's the way life works. When you put yourself under pressure to, abundance mindset, you are expectant. It shows up for you. So I'm praying good news shows up for you. And I'm praying that you expand your income through the GCP program and all that you do prospers. I'm cheering you on. I'm supporting you 100%. Remember, the goal of the Beatles Show with TMO is to help you build transgenerational wealth legitimately, teach you about how to make more money and invest your money wisely so that you don't lose your hard-earned money. So, thanks for staying with me on the show. It's 1 hour gone so fast.